Hello, I'm BBX and welcome back to the video. Today I have some pretty big Minecraft news to share with you, and it is of course to do with the next update, Title Update 54/Title Update 55, because we finally heard our first murmurings about combat changes, something we've never really heard anything about when it comes to console, but now we finally know what's going on with that, we know where that's going in the future, and I wanted to talk about it because it's some of the biggest stuff we've heard so far, but also the spawn eggs from yesterday, we finally had them confirmed because 4J Steve was playing a fun game on Twitter, and now we finally know what all of the spawn eggs from yesterday were, and I thought it was quite interesting, so I figured why not share both these things with you in today's bonus news video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. You can like the video so because it helps out the channel, and listening, you do like these. Again, this little bonus news video just let you know the latest things we've learned in the past 24 hours. So with that said, let's get straight into the first piece of news, which is the big one, because it is 4J confirming that they have basically been thinking about the combat changes. It's not just something they've forgotten about, because here you can see L'Oreal Sandwich said out of the X Toy Cat, so are we basically going to be up to date with the computer version? I said in almost every way it looks like yeah, obviously besides some of the big ones, and then someone responds by saying, does this mean the new combat change will be in there or not? And they respond by saying, we're working with Mojang on combat changes for console editions, but nothing to confirm on this at the moment. So this is really, really big, even though it seems like a non-response of like, oh yes, so there's nothing to confirm. Well, that's useless, right? But it's actually quite a big thing because it confirms that, yeah, they have been thinking about new combat. It's something they do want to do, and they have the ability now with the new remapable controls, but it's something that they're not willing to confirm just yet. So what does this mean? This means that the, obviously, you know, the big directions of the game, such as that, are in control of Mojang. I didn't really realize that. I assumed, you know, they had a lot more autonomy to just convert anything from the PC to the console, but it seems like certain features they want to make sure are done on console in the right way, and one of those big things that Jeb has mentioned he's just, you know, like refusing to do in certain ways is new combat. So because the new combat was such a divisive feature on PC, it seems like they really are trying to coordinate with that Mojang to make sure that they do it right and they do it on all the platforms, and that's why it seems like we haven't seen new combat on consoles yet. It's not that they haven't wanted to do it or that they haven't been able to do it. It seems like they've been waiting for some form of, you know, like not approval, but like, you know, proper back and forth on how to do it from Mojang, which is why if we then go a step further, which is why I think we've actually gone to the point where we have dual wielding on console right now, but it's only the biggest introduction into dual wielding. I think they're trying to make all platforms have this very slow phase into dual wielding, then this very slow phase into the new combat, if they even go for all of it. Oh, in fact, they'll probably rebalance it on the PC a few times before it gets to the console, which is very, very clever when you think about it, because even if, you know, new combat is something I agree with, and like 60% of players do, but like 40% of players are just die hard against it, because they've been told to hate it, or they just think, you know, why should I have to, you know, like work out when to click? That's not as fun to me. I just want to spam, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why you might like the old combat versus new one, rather than offending these people and causing a big outrage on all platforms of Minecraft. That's not good for anyone, of course. What they're presumably going to do is they're going to make it just a slow, subtle change, and they're going to try and make people like it, rather than, you know, forcing it on people. They're going to try and make it like a slow transition, and that's something that I think is quite respectable. Regardless of where you stand on dual wielding, I think you've got to admit, like, some people want it, some people don't, and to have like a slow phase in where hopefully most people, if not everyone, is happy, I think that's the best way to do this. So will we be seeing new combat changes in Title Update 55? I think almost certainly not, because the update's coming out so soon, and they're, you know, they're still talking with Mojang. I think that's not going to be something we see in this next update, but I think we'll see another couple of changes towards it and another couple of like pushes in that direction, and I just think that's kind of a good thing to see in general. I think the fact that they're making movements in that direction is good, and in case you're curious, it's like, oh yeah, so how do you know there's going to be movements? Well, we've already seen confirmed there's going to be the Totem of Undying. They might start adding new items there too, so they might be like, oh yeah, what about shields? Let's add shields to that slot. What about if you could do this extra thing and that extra thing? Like, okay, torches work now, and if they slowly introduce dual wielding and people like that, and then they slowly introduce, you know, like slight combat changes, I think that'd be the best way to do it, because again, people don't like it when they have a skill that becomes useless overnight. That's why the PvP community hates dual wielding, from my understanding, because, you know, you got to think like the dual, you know, the new combat, the delay thing actually uses more skill because you got to work out what it is. However, it sucks to just tell a bunch of people who are so passionate about Minecraft, guess what, your previous PvP skills aren't relevant anymore. So I think a slow phasing in might be the best way to do it. So what if they did, you know, dual wielding first, and then they slowly implement that, and then they slowly implement like the, you know, like the field of view stuff, sorry, the like wide attacks, sweeping attacks. They could do it step by step in a way that I think would be non-offensive, and I think that's what they're going to do. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it never comes. Maybe they conclude, you know, it's just not worth taking the risk on new combat, but I like that they're making steps, and I think regardless of where you stand on this, it's a good thing to see. So let's next talk about the video from yesterday, because I think that's like a really great example of like, there is this big, strong console community here, and, you know, because a lot of people say like, oh yeah, what's the console version of the game? It's not one of the real ones or whatever, but I think this proves that there is a big collection of people that are curious about the next console update, that are really excited about it, because, you know, in response to the really good news from 4J, 3,900 likes in that video and 116,000 views according to YouTube, so it's probably slightly delayed in just 24 hours. It blew my mind, and I'm so glad so many of you like that as much as I did. It's good that we can prove we exist every now and then, and it's good that, you know, like that's being rewarded in that particular way. So I'm a big fan fan of that, but that's not the point of today's video, the fact that, you know, that video did well, because somewhere in there, you might have recalled if you did watch it, which statistically apparently you did, basically I mentioned how I was mostly sure about the spawn eggs, but not entirely, and I said what all of them were. Like I said, I thought they were the 3 brand new mobs, plus the Wither Skeleton, and plus the Zombie Horse. So, as it so turns out, again, I was just being like, it looks mostly like that. This wasn't actually the case, because 4J Steve, who is roughly the community manager for Minecraft Console right now, tweeted back saying 1 out of 5 spawn eggs correct, and then a winking face. So this starts the game, we all started guessing spawn eggs. I got 2 out of 5, and then 3 out of 5, and someone got 4 out of 5, and we're playing this big game to work out all of them are. But after the end of this game, again, it was a really fun time on Twitter last night. Basically, the confirmation from 4J Steve was that this was the correct one from Fire Bloodhound. So he says Stray, Skeleton Horse, Donkey, Mule, Zombie Horse. So yeah, they had 2 mob spawners eggs, which we already have, so the horse and the donkey, but then they have 3 other ones that we don't currently have, the Zombie Horse, the Skeleton Horse, and the Stray. So the Stray is kind of cool by itself, it's a nice little addition, but the Zombie Horse and the Skeleton Horse are the big ones, they're the ones you probably care about, and it's kind of nice to see them in there, because Skeleton Horses technically exist right now, but not really, you know, they're so hard to find. Zombie Horses are just like, they've existed in the code for some time, but we haven't been able to use them. It's good that we'll be able to, and just in general, the fact that we can spawn in Strays, and presumably with the skeletons and stuff, I think we also saw that was confirmed as being one of the spawn eggs. It's really good information that we know those things are coming, and you might think, wait, but does that mean the other spawn eggs aren't confirmed? And yeah, it does seem that way right now. There is a Wooden Mansion. We haven't seen the Vex, the Vindicator, and the Evoker confirmed yet, but I imagine we will at some point in a future screenshot, because it'd be really weird to have the Wooden Mansion without them, but you know, maybe that's the thing they're going for. I don't know if it makes much sense, because you can't really have the Totem from dying without them, but it's one of the other mysteries we'll hopefully see confirmed in the coming weeks of screenshots. So yeah, New Combat, it's in the works, and they're in contact with Mojang regularly about it, it does seem, but there's no official decision on it yet, but as soon as there is one, I'll let you know. And also, yesterday's video did really well, people care about the news, but the important thing about it is I got 1 out of 5 correct, and then lots of people got 0 or 1 out of 5, and then the 5 out of 5 confirmation on what those spawn eggs were was Stray, Skeleton Horse, Donkey, Mule, and Zombie Horse. And you know, I like to admit I was wrong here. I said in the video before, like, I wasn't 100% sure, and this is why, because as it turns out, I was only right with the Zombie Horse, but it's good to note regardless, and hopefully you all enjoyed learning about this. But for now, I do have to go, because eventually this video must end. Hope you all enjoyed it, like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.